versus real world? First question, why are so many young people getting into car accidents? Why are so many young people getting into car accidents? Okay, other than Assad, anyone else online? Riaz, you had your hand up?
Yeah.
How about Akil? Akil, come up.
I think it's because they only started driving for just maybe a year or even less than a year.
Okay, so you're saying people haven't been driving long. Is anyone online interested in chiming in? Okay.
Saying the distraction.
Okay, Hakeem? Young people are having the courage to come up, so.
Maybe because
Speak louder.
maybe because they're not paying attention to the road or texting while driving.
Okay, very good. Okay, who else would like to take a crack at that? Sister Asma, then Brother Kadir.
Since the topic is about virtual and social, I think some people think you're playing a video game and it's okay just to hit and run.
Very good, Brother Kadir. And someone online just gave an answer, one-word answer, distraction.
Yeah, this is Akbar.
Yeah, go ahead, Brother Akbar.
Yeah, so these days, as your topic says, they're more into the virtual world than in the real world.
Okay.
Which means distracted towards the virtual world.
Okay. All right, very good. Go ahead, Brother Kadir.
I believe the young people are driven by the spirit of competition, dominance, and overcoming their competitors. So that probably is playing in the back of their minds.
Okay. All right. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Okay. We're 3 minutes into this, and see, again, as we build on each other's ideas, you see what begins to happen. Why are young people so bored now? Because the way they act is they're the first generation in human history to ever be bored.
Either because they don't.
Speak up.
Either because they don't have enough work to do, or because they have too easy work and they finish it quickly. So.
Okay. Who else? Yes, sister. If you can introduce yourself.
Okay.
Just mention your name, that's all.
My name's Nan, and because I'm stuck at home, there's nothing to do at home, really.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other ideas why young people are bored? Okay, Assad.
Brother Assad, can you repeat it? We could not hear what she said.
Oh, the question is, why are young people so bored now? Okay?
No, I heard the question. I did not hear the response from the respondent.
From Sister Iman, that they're stuck at home. Basically, I think she's saying because they're stuck at home, social distancing, and due to COVID. It's okay, you can talk loud.
All right, so young people are bored at home mainly because all they do is sit there for 6, 7, 8 hours a day playing video games. They go from phone to iPad to PS4 to PS5, back to phone, iPad, and all of a sudden you look up and they do not know where the day went. In the old days, especially when I was a kid, we used to have our cousins come over and we would just play outside all day. I know there's certain people here, like my dad, Brother Elson, Brother Haris, they can attest to that as well. You just played outside all day, you came inside when it was time to eat dinner or make namaz, that is, or pray. That's not the case anymore.
Okay, so these are the 3 major reasons people are so bored. Constant feed of connection, constant feed of information, and constant feed of entertainment. So paradoxically, the constancy of information, of entertainment, and being plugged in has created boredom, which seems like Yeah, there's an echo. So someone's, it seems like it's counterintuitive. But the data proves this. One reason young people are so bored is they're constantly connected. Again, remember, keep in mind as we're going through the deck, we are talking about the virtual world versus the real world. Okay, what does the commercial "greatness awaits" come from? And what does it mean? There's a commercial, and the theme of the commercial is "greatness awaits." It is a mainstream commercial. Any ideas on what theme or what product is being marketed, and the theme is "greatness awaits"? Sister Noreen. Online, please chime in, okay?
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Maureen. So first of all, I don't see commercials anymore because with the way DVRs and you can fast forward and you can binge and there's no commercials. I have no idea what this commercial is about. But I think when I think of, in this day and age and saying greatness awaits, I think of this virtual world where we live with, Instagram influencers, TikTok influencers. People think that just sitting in front of a camera and talking, that they're going to be the next big thing. And I think this is what the next generation is learning. Become a YouTuber, become a TikToker, become an Instagram influencer, do makeup, do dances, do whatever, and you're just going to become a millionaire and live in Los Angeles and have a mansion. And this is what the next generation is becoming, very materialistic and thinking that this is what it takes. It's all about me, 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 me. Thank you.
Okay, Brother Aslam and then Assad.
Come on, one more round of applause. Assad, are you going to give away the answer? Because if you are,
You go ahead now.
okay, I mean, I did a search, so I know what it is. But that wasn't my guess. When I looked at this picture, it made me think about MasterCard for some reason. Right? Because he seems to, look at what I've just purchased, look at what I've achieved, look at what I've conquered. There's a Ferris wheel in the background, there's some type of fire right next to him, there's, a helicopter and cars and things like that. So, it's mass consumption and blatant materialism is what it made me think of. Greatness awaits because you can just consume.
Very good. Okay, Assad. Yeah, and you're not allowed to Google the answer unless I say Google.
I didn't give away what it was.
So greatness awaits is the slogan for Sony's PlayStation branch. Every single commercial that they have, it ends with greatness awaits. Their whole marketing gimmick behind the slogan is you can sit here for hours and hours and hours, play video games, and then through the video game, you will achieve great things that you cannot do in real life.
Okay, so that is the answer. PlayStation is the most popular video game system in the world. Their tagline is "greatness awaits" by playing video games. Okay, can you be great in the virtual world? Sister Noreen touched on some points, Assad has mentioned, Brother Aslam has mentioned. That's a question. I just want everyone to contemplate that for a little bit. Anybody else would like to chime in? Don't be shy. You're among friends. It's better you make mistakes in front of us than when you become an executive, you don't make mistakes. Okay. Anybody have a comment on this, or should I move on? Sister Asma.
Sure, you can be great in the virtual world. It's your world. Why not? You can be the greatest and the best and, run the world. So, of course, you can.
Okay, excellent. So in theory, I can be a king in the virtual world. Great. And this is where we have to it's number 27. Last week we talked about beer muscles versus keyboard muscles. And I want everyone to think about this very critically. That people are beginning to live their lives to be overachievers, not in the physical world, in the virtual world. So I have this question now. And alhamdulillah, I'm doing good on time, so I think I will go through a little bit more content. How does your activity or achievements in the virtual world translate into the real world? Or do they translate? Or do they make you dysfunctional? Now, this requires some intellect, some thinking. So it's okay to be quiet for 10, 15 seconds and think about it. And again, if you're online, please feel free to chime in. The purpose of these exercises is to present material in a way that you may not have seen it before, so you don't have to agree at the end of the presentation, but you are looking at the material from a different perspective than you would have. Yes, Hakeem, and then Sister Noreen.
So my answer is, if you're like good at something, like if you're a gamer and you're good at it, then it could, like if you post a video of you winning a game on YouTube or something as an achievement, then it could have effect on people who watch it or something. You may become famous or something like that, but
MashaAllah. Okay, very good. I think I said Sister Noreen next. Okay, Sister Noreen.
So I believe that when you're in the virtual world, you're able to project yourself, just a certain part of yourself, to the virtual space, to the virtual audience. They don't see you in everyday life. They're seeing you in front of a camera, talking about a topic, being a subject matter expert, for example, about it. Maybe it's gaming, maybe it's Islam, maybe it's, any topic that you want, and you're able to project yourself as, I'm an expert on this topic, and you should listen to me, and look, I'm so, great because I'm talking about this. But then when you look at the person in the real world, as Muslims, we are supposed to look at people and judge who they are by their character. How are they treating their family? How are they active in their Muslim community? Are they good to their neighbors? Are they good to their families? These are things that matter. So a lot of times people show one thing, but there's something else, and it's so easy to do in the virtual world, and it can become very dangerous, where people are possibly using Twitter, Facebook, whatever, to maybe talk about political agendas and whatnot, and causing disunity in the Muslim community, for example. And people are thinking that this person has a platform, they are well spoken on this, but really what they're doing is causing division and fitna. So I think, yes, you can, but it can be very dangerous. So that's all.
Okay. Also, very good, very good. And so you can be great in your thing. And if there's, okay, Kadir, come up. One comment is, write this down, living versus performing. And we'll go into it, inshallah, some future table topic. But right now, Brother Kadir.
A while back, I used to play cricket video games, and honestly, I really convinced myself that if I go out now, after 35 years, then I will be much better, and I will not need a trainer to hit my strokes. And I really convinced myself.
Okay. I might violate protocol and take an extra 5 minutes today. Okay? But I know we have to. I'll do the analysis quickly. Why is face-to-face conversation important? Usaid?
face-to-face conversation is important because it helps improve your oral skills, communication skills that you not be able to acquire by texting somebody in another room or literally.
Brother Kadir?
I think the face-to-face communication for conversation is important because it gives you a realistic evaluation of your own thoughts and also give a fair understanding of the perspective of the other person.
Sister Asma? Very good. I'm very happy with the interactiveness today.
So I used to be a recruiter, and we really liked interviewing people in person because you actually get to know their body language, and majority of your communication is your body language. You know, whether you're actually looking at them in the eye, talking if you're real, or you're just making up stuff. So I really believe that it's important to have face-to-face communication.
So the very first question in the presentation, why are so many young people getting into accidents? Now, the consensus answer was distraction, and that is an answer. But a big part of it is if you have an 80-inch screen TV in your house and you are playing the race car video game, then when you get your driver license, you can't separate the virtual world from the real world. So the hours and hours and hours of playing a race car, when finally you start actually driving, you've conditioned yourself to drive a certain way. So when your child is 10, 11, 12, and he's playing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of harmless video games, they're not going to be harmless when he starts driving. Or she starts driving. But usually it's the guys, let's be honest. Our guys are much bigger knuckleheads. Okay. Now, why is face-to-face conversation important? These are the reasons. Take a picture of the slide. You can take out your phone. I won't consider it disrespectful. One, it's the most human and humanizing thing we do. Even when you meet a stranger, face-to-face, right? Even two, you're fully present and you learn to listen. 3, it is a cornerstone of early development. Again, what is the theme? Virtual world versus real world. You're in real trouble if your child is learning vocabulary from the TV at the age of 2, 3, 4, and not from mom and dad. 4, social action gains strength. 5, without conversation, you are less empathetic. This goes into much deeper than what Sister Asma was saying. Not just as a candidate, right? The body language. Saying something that might have hurt somebody. Unknowingly offending somebody, right? Understanding how to avoid microaggressions. And without conversation, you're less connected, you're less creative, and you are less fulfilled. Now, I'm going to give a true story. I think everybody on the call is from a traditional Muslim background. 2 families met. They thought that the boy and the girl were compatible, so the 2 families got together. They sat in the same living room, and then both parents decided, let's step out, let the boy and the girl talk to each other. They walked out. The boy and the girl sat silent for maybe a minute and a half, 2.5 minutes. It's a long time. Finally, the boy says, you use WhatsApp? She says, yes. They exchange phone numbers, and they WhatsApp in the same room for the next hour. So this is not a circus. This is not a game. This is actually happening. Now, someone like that, I don't know, are they capable of deep meaningful relationships. And they can't complain that the parents are forcing them into a marriage. So, we move on. How have the computer and internet affected friendships? Ideas. Brother Riaz first.
Actually, yes, it did affect the friendship a lot because of the openness of the Facebook and inventing those kind of issues, where when we interact with our friends without those Facebooks, they were showing us the wrong face. Like they're not showing the real face of it. Whereas if you look at their Facebook posts and everything else, you would really know their inner heart, what they're feeling about you. So probably they're just speaking again. They might say you are friend, but not they. Something like that, like Facebook and LinkedIn, make you feel that relationship is not.
Excellent. Our colleagues or friends from online are not chiming in. We're not ignoring you, so please do chime in. Okay, Brother Assad.
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Toastmaster. Now, computers and the internet have affected how we look at friendships. It used to be you had different levels of friends. You had the really close friends you confided in. You had acquaintances. You had people that were friends from a location or a place, like a workplace or a school that you went to. You had friends that are from your neighbors, and so they're kind of friends, but you know them in a particular setting, or your mechanic or somebody like that. Now with these platforms, all friends are equal. Anything that you post is now open game for everyone to respond to. So, there's the concept of the evil eye, there's the concept of, having things for certain people, right? Keeping things private, but within a limited circle and things like that. And these concepts are now gone. Once you post it, it's out there. In fact, sometimes the whole world can see it. And so the nature of friendships have now, in my opinion, become more shallow because you have to work that much harder to retain those close ties with certain people. Otherwise, everybody is, quote, a friend.
Very good. Excellent.
Comments on the chat?
Oh, yes. Sure. So, Brother Horace, can you read out the comments on the chat really loud?
Computers and internet is a great way to meet new people and or play games or talk with your friends and family even easier than before the internet and computers. Internet is actually how I met my best friend, Waleed, who I've been best friends with now for 7+ years.
Okay. So the internet, someone online is saying internet is a connector. And they've met their best friend for 7 years. Very good. So, but this is, I would like everyone to think about this. And it's a fair point, right? But computers and internet, they're creating companionship without the demands of friendship. 2, the illusion of friendship without intimacy. If I am your friend, you have a right on my time. But if you're a virtual friend, you don't really have a right on my time. So friendship also requires responsibilities. Responsibility is not just between husband and wife, parent and child. Even friendships require investment. Require commitment. So I think someone online, that point is a fair point. But this is how historically friendship has been determined. What do people desire? We're not talking about the 3 things that drive human behavior. So I'll move on this because I'm under time constraint. These are the 3 things people desire nowadays: distraction, comfort, and efficiency. We're talking specifically as it relates to the internet and computers. We want to be distracted, We want comfort, and we want efficiency. I don't even want to go through the inconvenience of getting up and going to Blockbuster Video. I want the comfort. I want the efficiency. And I want to be able to be distracted. What does that lead to? This is what it leads to. When someone that is very deeply immersed in the virtual world, look, in the virtual world, you encounter scoundrel wizards and spells. You can die and be reborn. And in the virtual world, you know in your mind or heart, it'll work out in the end. Now, if you are conditioning yourself with that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day, and that is not an exaggeration, all the parents in this room know this, right? How are you conditioning yourself? And someone from that world, when they deal with the real world, real people can be unpredictable. Then they're going to be difficult to contend. And after simulations, you will become more dysfunctional. Now, I'm not giving a fatwa against the internet, okay? There's going to be somebody who says, oh, I learned to Quran on the internet. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So be intellectually honest. Understand, when you are so deeply immersed that you are more of your free time is immersed in the virtual world than in the real physical world. This is an inevitability. Okay, so I will end there. I would emphasize, very first question. One reason young men, especially, are getting in car accidents is they're playing race car games. Like, I have a non-Muslim friend whose 7-year-old got into a bowling game. And so he said, look, we were in a picnic. The kid walked away to the dock, started the boat, and raced it and crashed. I said, how could a 7-year-old have done that? They said his favorite game was boat racing. The 7-year-old could not say, this is real. This is no longer video game. That he got cut in the head, this and that, whatever, very seriously. He could not see, because at the age of 5, mom and dad said, this is a harmless game. Now, I'm not giving a fuck against video games. But the idea behind was virtual world versus real. And if you are constantly immersed in the virtual world, your ability to have meaningful relationships, and we don't just mean between husband and wife and your children, we mean friendships, deep relationships, all of those things that drive, we are social creatures, it's going to be difficult. So those are the table topics for